Hey guys, Jordan here with VFX Vault, and today we're going to be starting a new series. We're going to be looking at Niagara behavior. Keep in mind that these tutorials that I'm making in this series that I'm making isn't specifically for Niagara beginners. I'll try to keep it simple and explain what I'm doing, but I'm not going to go through every single sort of step that I do. It's assumed that you have a decent understanding of Niagara and that you're interested in learning more about Niagara behavior and how to do really cool custom things. So let me demonstrate. what we're going to be doing in this series. I've built a module here called a tiling box, and you'll notice that at the moment it just looks like a sphere, but imagine there's a box around our particle system, and as we move our box around, you see it takes particles from one side and snaps them to the other side as they move. And this could be practical for any number of reasons. All kinds of effects might use something like this. So if we want an effect to sort of stay with the player but they move and it sort of loops around as they move, those kinds of things. So in this series we'll be getting down into the nitty-gritty of exactly how to build things like this. So if you come into our Niagara script here, so we'll be talking about rotations, all kinds of different modules using vectors, booleans, all kinds of different things, and how we can achieve these sorts of effects. The pieces that we need to learn to build up to this kind of level of building advanced customizable effects for Niagara. We're going to go over as well where it might have some practical application. We might find some examples on the internet that we like and try and recreate those. And if you have any questions, if you have any comments along the way, if you have something you'd really like to see, let me know and I can try and build it. And as well, all of these will be for free on my website that'll be coming out soon, or it'll be for free on Discord. And again, if you have any questions, any comments, let me know. And we'll start off with the first one, drawing a simple line, and let's get into it. First things first, it really might not seem like much, but we have to start at the basics and build our way up. We have to make sure we have a really strong understanding of the fundamentals, and then we can work our way up to the more advanced stuff. So we start with lines. So here you can see we've got just a simple line of dots, particles going between 2 points. So you can see the point 01, line point 01 here starts at 0, 0, 0 in the world. And line 2 goes to 250 in the X, the Y, and the Z. So you can see as I move around it, it's just drawing this line between points. And so we can move the top part up, and it's moving the line around. So I'll show you exactly how to get this effect and why it's important and how to customize it so we can continue building on it if we need to. First things first, we will come into our new project. Nothing special about this project, nothing different, and we create a new Niagara system, and we just call it NS Line Tutorial 01. We open it up, and it's just a directional burst. We can get rid of all of this behavior that we don't need. So burst instantaneous, that's fine. Add velocity, so we don't need any of the velocity stuff here, so we can get rid of velocity, solid color, drag, gravity, get rid of all of that. We'll give our particles a nice uniform shape, so a shape of sort of 10 units, and that looks good. Next, we will come to the particle spawn, and we will go, so there's a lot of ways you could do this. For the simpler stuff, I usually tend to just sort of declare it and set it here. Once it starts getting a bit more complicated, we're going to get into scratch pads and exactly how to set scratch pads and what we need, but we don't really need scratch pads unless we want to get into the much more intense, more complicated things. So I go here and we can just go set new or existing parameter directly, because we're just drawing a line between 2 points. We just need to set the position. So we can come over here and we need a new type position, or we can just write directly to the position parameter type. And then you see now it's setting the position of our particles all to the simulation position. And then we can just go lerp with the lerp position. Now we have position A and position B, and we've got our alpha. So remember that lerps between two values based on our alpha, and thankfully inbuilt into all of our particle systems we have our normalized execution index. So remember that a normalized execution index is just a normalized range between 0 to 1 for each particle. So each particle, so if we're spawning 10 particles, particle 0 will be 0, particle 1 will be 0.1, and so on, each stepping all the way up to 10. So we can use that to draw a line between these two given points. Now let's declare a user parameter. Over here we'll go position parameter. So we'll go 0.01, and then again position parameter 0.02, and then we can drag these in here, so into the A and the B, and we've plugged in our normalized execution index. We'll set this to infinite so that we can see it in the level, just repeating. 75, we'll just set it down to sort of 50 for now. And so what this is going to do now is when we spawn our positions, it's going to draw a line between 0.0 and 0.1 in world space. Once we've set our user parameters here and plug them in, we can come into the world, and because we've set it to 0, 0, 0, our particles, you see they're going to be spawning our world zeros over here. So let's just give them a value similar to our particle system's location in the world. So like I'd say 620, and then 803, this is just where we've placed it. So now you can see even now it's drawing a line between our particles system's position, because it's the same as our location here, and drawing a line back to 0, 0, 0. So let's put 620 in the same bottom box, 803, and then if we draw a line up, let's say another 500 units. So now you can see that we are drawing a line in the world. Let me set this loop behavior to infinite, back over here, sorry. We're drawing a line in the world between these two given points. So where might this be practical? I mean, this could be practical in a lot of different ways. We could draw lines between everything, lines between where we shoot and where the trace hits, lines between two given targets, so say lines between two players, we might need a line. That syncs up all kinds of things. So it all starts with lines, and then we work our way up from there. Getting into more of a practical application, let's do something simple. Let's draw this line between, say, a given target in the world. So let's say maybe this box here. Yep, let's move it over here. We can get its location here. So 960 in the X, 427 in the Y. So again, 960 in the X, and then it was 427 in the Y, and then that'll be fine in the Z. But then let's do something interesting. Let's put the second point of our system on our character. So again, this is a simple little template, Unreal template, nothing special here. Let's show how we can actually attach the other end of this line to our character, so our line is always pointing to this box. So there's nothing special about this project. It's just the default third-person project, so we can come over to this side here, we scroll down, and we come to the third-person character, and we open the third-person character edit. So we've got it here, so you can see everything. Now again, remember, this isn't going to be a tutorial going over all the different things about blueprints. It's just going to be sort of a higher level tutorial talking about how to set up things, how to understand Niagara systems in a slightly more technical way, so that we can make them for programmers to use easily and plug in, and they can have the exact kind of behavior that we need. One way we can get this onto our character is we can drag it over here and we can attach it to our character, but even then it doesn't really matter that we've attached it, because remember, these two coordinates are in world space, so it's not really attached to our character. These are drawing a line because of the way we've set it up inside of Niagara. It's just saying 0.1 in the world, 0.2 in the world, draw the particles between this. So if we save that, Save that. So now we need to access our Niagara system and we need to update it. There's one way we can actually do a little bit of a cheat here. So one thing we could do is in the event graph, we could go and get the skeleton, get the bone, get exactly the bone or the socket that we need, and we can get the information from that socket, the world position location from that socket, and feed it into Niagara. That's definitely one way we can do it. There's a lot of ways we can actually get the information into Niagara, but this is just going to be a really simple tutorial, and we're going to do a little quick and a little hacky. So we have our NS line tutorial 01 Niagara system. So the particles are in world space, but the system is not. So the system itself is attached to the character. So what we can do is we can move it up to, say, just the head level. Then we come over to our event graph and we go get world location. So this is location of the world. Then we need to get the event tick. Cool. So this is, again, not the most efficient way you would do it, but it works. With the event tick, we need to grab a reference to our Niagara system again, and we go set position. So we can go Niagara set variable position. So we can get the location, the world location of our Niagara system, which again is set to the head. We moved up to the head, and it is parented, so it'll inherit the location as our character moves around. Then we go event tick, we plug that in, and then we plug in the location, and then we need the variable name, so we can come back to Niagara, and let's just go with, say, 0.02 is going to be the point on our head, so 0.02. So now, every time our system updates, every time our game ticks over, it's going to set the location for our Niagara system. So we can compile that, and then make sure that we set the other to, we know where our box is, 960, 427. So 0.0 will be 960, 427 in the world. We can compile that, we can save that. Now if we run our game, you see it's drawn the line between our character and the box, but now we have a new problem. So it's only drawing the line when the particle system spawns. That's because, remember, in our Niagara system, we have position in our particle spawn. So this, again, remember, only evaluates when we spawn particles. So if we drag it down here into the update, so drag it into the update stack, now this is going to evaluate every frame, so it's going to take the data every frame from our Niagara system, from our blueprint, feed it in, and update the second point of our line every time. So we can save that, and now if we look around and run around in our game, you can see it's a little bit detached, but we can fix that in other ways. You see now our line is pointing between where our character is and where the box is. No bind the other line is just the other system that we set up before. So I hope you've seen how this can be really, really practical, and I know this is really simple this week, but as we go on, we're going to be getting into more advanced things and how to build some really, really cool stuff. I hope you guys are looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. If you've got any questions, you've got any comments, if something's not working, feel free to reach out to me. As always, these things, they'll be for free on my website that's coming soon, or they'll be for free on Discord. There's plenty of ways you can get your hands on them. So if you like, leave a like, subscribe, comment, and have a nice day.